it gets stuck on input shaping, and I've done it 3 times. I spent 30 minutes 3 times. So if that means anything, I've had to just turn it off and turn it back on. It won't do anything. I've waited an hour the first. So that side was definitely protected by that bottom foam, and if it weren't for that, this printer would be toast. That's the side. The glass seems to be intact, so that's good. A lot of people were saying, well, not lots, some people were saying that they had issues with glass. Okey-dokey, that was weird. It's a really interesting plate. This is going through its 30-minute calibration self-check. And I smell something, and this actually has some filament still in it. So, yeah. I'll come back later. Right now it's eating the bed. An update, I am setting up the Centauri Carbon right now, and I am currently stuck on my device self-check. I get all the way, I go through nozzle heating, heated bed heating, heat break cooling fan, main board cooling fan, and it goes to input shaping, and it gets stuck on input shaping. And I've done it 3 times. I've spent 30 minutes 3 times. So if that means anything, I've had to just turn it off and turn it back on. It won't do anything. I've waited an hour the first time, and then 30 minutes the next time, and then 30 minutes, pretty much past 30 minutes this time now. I've got my timer still on. It hasn't gone off yet. I put in a post about it on the Facebook group to see if anybody's had similar issues or anything. I'm just waiting back to hear people right now, but I have no idea what happened. The first time it moved over, it went through the nozzle and dropped out some of the filament, moved its head, and then I heard some whirring, like, you know, it was like testing the fans or whatever on the print head. I did bump into it when I was filming something, when I was filming the inside chamber, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, maybe it's just a little bump, won't do anything. And then this happened, and then again, I didn't touch it at all. I closed the door or something like that, because I was thinking maybe, oh, it's the internal heat chamber or something like that. It was something to do with that. The third time I've not touched it at all. I've not done anything, and I know that's stupid of me to touch it the first 2 times, but that's just how I operate. It was after the 30 minutes anyway, so it almost doesn't matter, because I've watched videos and people have been watching their stuff and their bed's moving by the time they get to input shaping, and nothing's happening for the bed right now. So I don't really know what's going on. So if I don't hear back from anybody with the Facebook group, I probably will send Elegoo support email or something like that and try to get in contact with them, see what's going on. But right now that's my main issue, and I'm losing sunlight, so my video is going to be in the dark by the time it actually finishes. But I was supposed to actually go do stuff later today. I had plans already. It's kind of a little obnoxious because it came out of the box, everything seemed fine, no damage or anything like that, and then I'm having issues with software instead of physical damage. So we'll see what happens. Currently just waiting on the time frame to see what's going on. They went through everything, and I'm just stuck at input shaping. I have no idea why it's taking so long. It's past the 30-minute mark, you know? So we'll see what happens. This is the 5th time doing this test, so we're gonna see if it works or not. And if not, I'm gonna flip it over and actually see if this stuff's plugged in. I reconnected all of the, contacts, for the different axes. So if not, I'm gonna flip that bottom panel off and see if it's actually plugged in, because these lower motors haven't even ran once. I've been watching videos, these motors are almost running immediately once they get into input shaping, and this is not moving at all. So I don't know if it's software or if it's something's misplugged, so I'm just gonna go in after that and check. So let's see what happens. This is what happens. It moves its sprint head, and it'll do that calibrating thing, boom, boom, boom. It'll bonk itself and then go in the middle, high vibrations. Bed's not even moving at all. And then it'll stay like this for 40 minutes, not doing anything. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see if that did something. Because when I pushed on that, it clicked. So I'm thinking that's what it was. The power supply was fine. Let's just hope that's what it was. Let's really hope that's what it was.
Second time I've done that. I put it upside down, not paying attention. So stupid. Oh my god. Let's see if it's gonna work this time, y'all.
Then she always keeps on wearing these long legs, and I'm like, bro.
What's wrong with the long legs?
Well, they don't match her style or her looks, and it's just so because she was a cat, because cats have long legs because they're big. So I have that too, and when I was 7, I'm like being like the size that I am.
Yeah.
And then she thinks that she's more bigger, so she did it more bigger than me. And I.
After a long 6 hours. It wasn't all just 6 hours. It was me working on it and trying to figure things out with what was going on. I talked to some people on the Facebook page, and they had a suggestion that Uncle Jesse had the similar issue with his first Centauri Carbon, where the one of his axes plugs had disconnected. Here, give me a second. Actually from underneath the actual where the power supply and the board is. So I opened it up and looked. I'd already had that inkling to check it, and I thought something had slipped, and I turned it back on, and it still didn't work. It was still getting into the issue with the calibration, and I still didn't understand what was going on. So after that, I did it again and checked underneath, and it still wasn't doing anything. And then I did it like a third time, and I was like, why is the build plate just not moving? And I tried to move it over here, but these guide rods are really greased up, which is really good, but I couldn't move it. So then what I ended up doing is taking the bottom off, and then I just pulled the belt that goes with the Z-axis motor, and I brought it up about to the middle where it is right here right now, and then I started my print bed calibration, where it actually took and actually started working. I have footage of it, so I was really relieved that that's what it was. I thought it was a software issue. I thought it was maybe a motor issue where I'd got like a lemon or something, but it's not. I think it was just because how it was sitting. Maybe the belt in the tooth or whatever of the motor was not catching. So me pulling on that and bringing it up actually helped kind of jump start the calibration process. So if you're having an issue where you're getting stuck in your final 2 steps for calibration, where it does the give me a second. So auto bit of calibration is the last one, and then the off-put shaping, or was, I can't remember what the, I'll pull it up, but the last 2 were the issue with this one. And if that's happening and it's not doing anything, and that bed's sitting down and it's vibrating, it's not doing anything, turn it off, unplug it, flip it on its back, take your top glass plate off, obviously, put it to the side, flip it on its back, take that bottom panel off, check your wiring. But if it's not that, just barely move your build plate up and then try it. I believe that was an issue that I had, and nobody else on the Facebook group had similar issues. They were all telling me, oh, did you remove the screws and everything? I said, yeah, of course I did. And someone had mentioned that Uncle Jesse had that same issue with it not doing it. It's just because one of the plugs came loose during shipping, and I couldn't find that video or his comments for the life of me, but it sounded so familiar, so I went ahead and did it. And then nothing happened for me particularly with that situation, but some people might have that similar situation. But for me, with this one, if you're off-put shaping or whatever, I think it's shaping, I can't remember the correct term. The shaping's not working, and then it's not doing the auto bed leveling. Pop that bottom panel off, move your bed up a little bit, and then try to do your calibration, and that's probably what it's going to be. But beyond that, I got really good prints off. This is my first, technically this is actually my first print, but it messed up because my filament was had a cross in it. So this is the new one. Looks really good. It's got some stringing, but that's normal. Sometimes that happens with the speed, stuff like that. This is silk, so that's why it's doing that. I don't have the correct one. I just did PLA. So it looks really good. And then I did this one, and this one turned out really good. This is my little poop shoot. But it's kind of funny because Elegoo did their giveaway. I mean, last year they did a giveaway for Centauri Carbon and what you could use it in applications of the new features, like the onboard camera, touch screen, auto bed leveling, like first time layer and everything. And I commented and I got second place. And in that, I actually got this filament. So I figured that would be the first filament that I run through the machine, was the filament that I won for the Centauri Carbon giveaway, which would be pretty cool, which it turned out really good. I really love the colors of it. Got a lot of cool colors. Looks really good on the bottom. Make sure that I'm in frame. Yep. Looks really good. But yeah. Heck yeah. So I'm gonna keep on printing. I'm actually gonna make the top enclosure that goes around. I'm gonna do it in this Galaxy Black that I got from Micro Center, which would be really cool. So I'm gonna start printing that, and then after that I'm gonna be doing a print for my Etsy shop. I just got an order in and I want to do that, but with the P1S I'm gonna be doing my multicolor printing. But with this I'm gonna definitely do that print. I think that would be really cool. It's gonna look really good. I'm gonna do it in the Galaxy Black, so that'll be cool. And it'll be my first upload onto this machine, so heck yeah. I got this error message, but after I rebooted it, it was perfectly fine, printed fine afterwards, so I had no issues. As you can see, it's running really well. I was able to do a couple test prints last night, and then I actually did the first longest print we've done on this printer. It's a 10-hour print that I did, and it was a riser as a modification for it, which is also an LED modification. You're able to put LEDs on the inside of this to actually make the chamber brighter. The light, it is bright, but it's not doing that, it's not giving. It's not doing a lot of work, especially with this tinted glass. It's harder to see through the glass, so I'm going to do a modification. I did this one, I got it off of Printables. I'm going to post the link of the creator. It's really awesome. I printed it and it came out beautifully. I did it in this Inland Galaxy. I just got this from Micro Center just because it's, you know, pretty close to me. I was going to use this for another project, but when I finally got this, I didn't know how quick it was going to be, and I actually got it a lot quicker than I thought it was going to get. So I ended up doing it in this Galaxy, and it looks amazing. I think it's going to fit really, really well because it's in the Centauri Carbon space theme. So this looks really good because it has like a really nice flex. But I mean, like the quality in it looks great. This is just 0.20, and it did a phenomenal job. And I had no issues. I did do a slight brim on it through the Elegoo Orca slicer, and no trouble at all through the night. It was incredible. It printed out really solid, really sturdy. I did, I think, 10% infill on it, 0.20 layer height. And I was going through this, and this blew my mind because I didn't really see what it was. I just thought it was maybe just a chamber. It was just a riser. And then I realized, I was like, what is this thing? It's Nook. I was like, it must be like I wonder if it's a switch or something. And I actually pressed down on all these doors, and if you can hear it, it just has a slight crunch. Like that. Like that. Yep. And then I was able to do it on this one. I had to fix it, but check that out. It is an adjustable door, a little vent to actually help with your different filaments you're running, which is epic. It's really cool. So not only does glass sit on it, it has a lip for the LEDs. It also has an adjustable variable heat exhaust or intake. Could be an intake for certain filaments you run. Currently, the only thing I've ran is I've done PLA plus, PLA, and then I did PLA silk. So I'm gonna start running some different filaments on it. I just have to get some, probably order some off the line, probably from Amazon. They'll get here pretty quick. So I'm gonna start testing the different ones. But so far, so good. I mean, the only issue that I had, it was really discouraging at first because I had nobody else to. I mean, I had help, but a lot of the situations that other people were going through was nothing similar to mine at all whatsoever. So after I got that fixed, I felt a lot better about it. This thing's printing like very, very, very well. The only issues I've had with printing was I got a nick, and not a nick, but a knot in my spool, and that was the only issue. And that's the spool's fault for it being twisted that way from manufacturer. But only issue I've had was feeding the filament. I did this one 2 or 3 times, and no filament was coming out, and I ended up adjusting the tube, and then going back into the extruder menu, and I just kept on pushing it. I did it by 30 millimeters, and I realized that the silk filament, I actually put it at a higher temp actually, because this was asking for 230, so I did 220. And the normal filament is usually 210 to 220, around 215 in reality. And a lot of that stuff started coming out, so it was just backed up. It's never actually purged all the way for some reason. I still have yet to see a firmware update. If anybody knows anything, just let me know, and maybe that could help me out. But besides that, I was able to purge it out, and then after that, the print went down beautifully. I mean, it looks... The bottom of this looks really great. I know that it's kind of bad because of my background. It's light, right? But that's the only kind of source of light I got in my room. But looks really, really good. Looks amazing. And I mean, these brims, they come off really easily as well. I will take a tool to clean up the edges a little bit, but that's just little nicks, you know, just staying on there. But for the most part, this has come off really, really, really well. If I actually take my time and actually appropriately peel it off, it does just fine. But it'll just break off just because it's such a thin brim, you know. Let me try to see if I can get this barn door. There we go. It's epic. It's so cool. And what I'm doing right now is, I don't know if you can see it, I'm running the corners, and then there is a main piece that runs through the middle of this to support it when it's going over the chassis, which is really cool. And I'm really, really, really pleased with what's going on right now with this printer. So no issues really. The user interface I'll have to get used to. It's a little weird. I'm used to the Neptune series where you just literally input your filament, and then it'll preheat it to that. This is not the same case unless I'm missing something. After this print, I'll go through and look at it again, but I really do like the user interface for the Neptunes, just where you can literally put in the filament that you're running, you know, you input that in the bottom of it's like a prepping settings, and It's like where you do your homing and you do your all that kind of stuff, and I like that a lot. The user interface for this is really nice. I love the touch screen on it. It's really cool. I think that that's a feature that the P1S is sorely lacking. I'm literally using a radio from the early 2000s. That's what it feels like. It feels like one of those old school Pioneer radios I've got in one of my old cars. So, and it's not to say that it doesn't work, but I mean, you're paying a decent amount of money for it, so you think that touchscreen would be a normal thing, and for this to be $299.99, come with a touchscreen, it's enclosed, it's got a camera, it's got a filament runout sensor, it's a Core XY, it's quick, it's got Wi-Fi, you can send stuff over Wi-Fi. I haven't tried that yet, but you also got a USB with it, magnetic PEI plate, double-sided, heated bed. I mean, these are a lot of really heavy hitters. It's really impressive. I'm excited for the AMS unit coming out in Q3. That's going to just change the game with this thing. This is going to be redonkulous when it actually comes out, and you can quote me on redonkulous.
Redonkulous!
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the print process so far. It looks really good. This literally just, it blows my mind. The overhangs. What's really good about this is, like, to print on, is it has separate columns at an angle, a certain angle, and usually sometimes machines will just buckle under these overhangs, and then also just how thin, how tiny this. I mean, this is like maybe a millimeter or so, 2 millimeters maybe. So usually they would buckle under that, and the structural integrity of this is really, really impressive. And the fact that it was put in place, and all I had to do was just barely press it and encourage it for it to open and close is just epic. I love this. It's so cool. Shout out to the creator of this right here on this this file. I'm gonna put your name here. I'm so sorry that I can't remember your name, but it's a sick freaking thing. So I'm really excited to see what it's gonna be like when I actually get everything else in here. So yeah, Elegoo, heck yeah. Good job on y'all taking that year for research and development. I mean, it definitely speaks volumes. Can't wait to see what I do with this thing.